Hi, everybody, and welcome back to La Capricornia with me, Priscilla Moreno. So, you guys, we're back to our regular kind of messages. I'm going to go over the message and then I'm going to do the tarot reading at the end for you guys. So, that'll be at the end. Okay, you guys. So, this week I want to talk about trusting yourself and how difficult that can be, especially when you start kind of piling all these things on top of yourself. Like you start telling yourself things like, you did things this way last time, or you're gonna just mess this up again, or last time I was in this situation, this happened. You can really jumble yourself up. But I don't know, I just feel like this message came to me strong because I do feel like we're in a time where things are getting brought up. And it could be that things are being made crystal clear to us, a certain pathway is opening. But I do feel like we have this fear because, hey, like, I get it. We've all failed. We've failed in things maybe that we've been trying and things that we wanted. And, it even could be relationships or things like that. There could have been different failures. And I'm not saying it's just all on you. I don't know your situation. Because in all honesty, at the end of the day, I mean, it's just things that didn't work out. And, as much as we try to tell ourselves, like, it just didn't work out, it was, a lesson. It was something for us to go a different way. And you could be happy and content. At the end of the day, it was something that didn't work out. And sometimes we tell ourselves that, like, oh, it's a failure. It was a failure for me to go this way. And, we have to trust the redirection. And I think, whatever is coming up at this time or just any time, you have to realize that, you have gone through things. You have done so many things. And right now is a time for you just to, like, trust yourself. And like I said, that can be super hard. I get it because I struggle with it all the time. Even when it comes to, like, my tarot reading, it's very hard for me to sometimes trust that I am receiving the right message. And it's not because I don't feel like I'm getting the right message. It's just because I just get in this moment of like, okay, what could it be? And I have found myself where, like, I'll kind of think like, oh, this is what this meant. And then sometimes, like, something else pops up and I'm like, oh, like, this is what it was. And I sometimes kind of get that feeling too, like, ugh, like, I didn't get it absolutely correct. But at the end of the day, I mean, I was onto something and it's getting stronger and it's getting better. And that's exactly what you're doing with yourself. Like, we're getting stronger, we're getting better. We are, trusting ourselves more. We're understanding ourselves more. And at the end of the day, what are you doing this for? If you can't trust yourself, how can you trust anybody else? And, I know some people are going to be like, oh, how dumb is it to say, like, that you don't trust yourself? But, I mean, it's true. How many times have you held yourself back because you really thought, like, oh, this is just another situation that's the same? And hey, if you were right about that and it was very strong negative vibes coming about that, you were right. You know what I mean? And if you weren't really getting those vibes, but then you cut yourself off from something that could have been, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you kind of cut off that pathway, which, I think life gives us that opportunity, and sometimes it keeps kind of throwing it back so that we can try to overcome it in a different way. We can try to overcome it in a better way, right? So then, sometimes, like how people say during the retrogrades, exes come back, things like that. We're going to handle the situations a lot better, whether it's like, hey, you're finally going to block this person, you're finally not going to deal with it. Maybe it's a whole different way than what you thought, and you're actually going to do something, like, good with it and make up those friendships. And or, like, you and your family member decide you guys are going to connect and, be on good terms and maybe try to do therapy or something. You know what I mean? There could be things done differently every single time that opportunity comes up. And it doesn't mean that it's not your path, and it doesn't mean that it is. You know what I mean? It's very hard to explain it. It's, at the end of the day, it's just where we have to try to let go of that control. And I think that trust that we have within ourselves comes from that too, is just trying to control everything. I think in our minds we think, like, okay, if I make sure, like, last time I dropped this, and this is never going to happen again, because now whenever I place this, I'm going to place it in the middle of the table so that it never falls. So then we start building these bubbles of all these things that we're doing. But, did we really learn, like, hey, just to kind of be more aware of our surroundings? Or did we just, start creating all these safety nets? And now you start restricting, like, what you think about yourself, and even trusting yourself to, like, hey, not to drop that again, right? And I think that's, like, where I'm coming with this, right? It's all in the redirection of things. Sorry, you guys, my cat is, like, running wild right now. She gets hyper out of nowhere. She's a little kitten. She's 6 months. But yeah, so it's all in the redirection of how we take things in and how we go about it. I really think we need to stop clouding our head in negativity. Like, we're all working towards this goal of, bettering ourselves, not just for us, but for people around us and things like that. And, we have to be able to trust ourselves. If not, who's going to trust you? Even in general, the other way back, I know sometimes people come off as in, like, hey, like, they're very, like, on the fence about everything. They can't figure anything out, indecisive, things like that. And that's kind of where stuff like that comes from. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you can't even figure out or trust yourself that you know what you want, then how are you going to move forward in anything? And at the end of the day, only you know what you want. And again, you have to trust yourself, you guys. You have to trust yourself in knowing that what you want it's you. You know what I mean? And whether it's making that decision to finally do something, whether it's to step away from something completely, whether it's to, I don't know, just anything. I just feel like something big is, like, coming out of this, and I just think that you need to trust yourself in whatever that is. And I know that's supposed to be a message, but also came with a little bit of intuition there. But I'll get started on your tarot reading. So your first card is the Five of Cups in reversed. So again, I do feel like there's something clouding your mind right now. There's, like, a lot in your head, which is actually pretty interesting, because I actually was feeling this way, where I had just so much in my head. And I really had a day where it was just so overwhelming. But then once I really stopped and listened to my body and kind of paid attention, I kind of started realizing, like, okay, I have all these, like, drop cups around me, and I need to start, like, okay, stop staring at them. Stop staring at them. Why am I staring at these cups on the floor that are fallen? You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. Let's pick them up, wash them, and we'll refill them. It was basically I basically just had that moment. And I did. I started releasing the things that I knew I had to release, the answers I knew that I had. And, I know I said this for the October readings, but we have to follow that sun. We have to follow those messages. And I feel the minute that you start kind of like, hey, like, let me, like, pick this up and finally toss it out if it's broken, whatever it is. I think the minute you start doing that, you're going to start realizing, like, oh, like, it's not that bad and it's fine. And this is where I'm going to. I just feel like there's a lot, like, I almost kind of feel almost like something like a final change is coming. I don't know how else to explain it, but, like, a final change is coming to where, like, I don't know, maybe you're elevating and it's like, hey, these people around me are no longer, on the same vibration as me. And it doesn't mean anything bad towards them. It could just mean that it isn't what it is. Or maybe you saw things that you didn't want to see. So then it was like, okay, like, you know what? It's time to go in a different direction. Like I said, I really do feel that. I feel like you just got to pick up those cups, toss them out if they're broken, wash them up, whatever it is. If you need to wash them, clean them, and then just put them back on the shelf or fill them back up. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. Clean them up, stop moping over it, and, like, I know that sounds like a little blunt, but I mean, I think that's where we're at right now. I just feel like so clouded. I even got, like, kind of like a little pressure, which I am a little bit sick, you guys, but I don't think it was that. I did get, like, a little pressure, like, on my head, which I'm telling you, I kind of had my day, like, I think it was like 2 weeks ago. So I think maybe that's where that is coming from. We also have the moon. That is, well, this is going to be over by the time this video happens, but it's going to be October 14th. And I know with that, there's going to be a lot of clarity. So I think this is like the good time where you got to start like, hey, let's start cleaning up. Let's start getting this out of here. Let's start going in the right direction. And I know that's like a lot of information, but I really did get all that from that. Okay. Your next card is the Queen of Pentacles. So the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like there's so much abundance around you. And I know I've said this before about this card. Sometimes I feel like she's smiling and sometimes I feel like she's not that happy. But I feel like maybe, like I said, I think, like, again, we're in a time where we're having to release certain things. Or maybe during the retrograde, something came in that you thought was new and it actually wasn't great. And I have no idea why I keep referencing the retrograde. Like, it just keeps kind of coming back. So maybe it was something that came in around the last retrograde that, you know, wasn't what you expected. But what you have to realize is, like, look at all this abundance that is coming for you now. Like, you're fine. I do feel like you're also, like, you're very nurturing too, in the sense of, like, I think you have it all together. Like, you have a lot of things together. You know what I mean? Like, you're not the, I guess you're not the mess that you think you are. I don't know why that one came through, but you're not the mess that you think you are. Like, you have a lot of stuff together. Like, you have a lot of abundance. You have a lot of potential. There's a lot there. And I just feel like you might be like you might just, I don't know. It's almost kind of like you're not seeing it. Like, you're kind of looking at it a little like, I have all this. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're kind of like, oh, I have all this and I was planning all this stuff with it, and then maybe things aren't going your way. I do know a lot more people are starting to get sick now, so I know, like, things are getting kind of sketchy in certain places. So I don't know, maybe there's something that came in that just made you be kind of like in this mood of like, oh, you know, like, you kind of almost feel like you can't enjoy yourself, but there's so much around you. There's so much for you to be happy for. It's like you've nurtured this. You've brought this into existence. Don't be upset. Whatever it is, do not be upset. You're totally fine. And again, follow that sun. Follow that sun. I think you have to definitely follow it and trust that you were right with the choices you made, even if it was a little like, hey, we're letting go of some things. Okay, and the last card is the Strength card in reverse. So again, I do feel like it's a lot of, I even got a little heavy with this. I don't feel like you're feeling strong right now. And I don't know, maybe you're feeling like a little beat up. Like I said, you just have a lot in your head. You have a lot of things. And it might not even be just directly connected to you. You know, it might be just energies from other things. There's like a lot of things happening right now, you guys. There's so much going on right now. Not just, you know, personally in the world, family members, things like that. So maybe you're just feeling a little defeated. Another thing that this could be bringing up, I think it's trying to tell you, is stop holding it in. And I know I've said this before where I'm like, hey, you have to learn how to like to feel your feelings and process them and, you know, like let them out. But maybe that's what you need. You just need a day to cry. You know, you just need a day to process those feelings. I actually was listening to a video the other day, and it kind of reminds me of this because it was talking about how, hey, like, you've been doing so much. There's so much going around you. There's so much going on in the world. Like, sometimes you just need a day. And it's not a day of like, hey, you're not doing anything or you're being lazy or anything like that. Like, sometimes you really just need that day. And it seems weird, but sometimes it's just like, you know, even if you take a nap in the afternoon, I'm not going to judge you. I don't think anybody's going to judge you. Like, stop telling yourself, like, doing something like that is lazy. Or even if you do, like, let's say you do go to sleep early and you sleep for hours on end, you know what I mean? Like a good 12 hours or something, which it would be amazing to have that many hours of sleep. But maybe that's just what you need. You just need that rest. I feel like it's telling you need that rest, and you need to find a way to process it. And, you know, sometimes that rest will bring out things in you. So, like, if you're had like nightmares or you've had things, you know, being brought to you or anything like that, it's trying to like show you what your body's trying to tell you, like what you're tired of or what you're feeling or what's going on. It's helping you try to process that. I know, I think it was, well, today, like I said, I'm not feeling that well. I have been feeling like I needed to nap, but then at the same time, my son just left. I'm trying to stay up. But the minute he gets home, I'm out. To be very honest with you guys, I'm going to be out. I'm going to be sleeping. I'm off tomorrow, so I am definitely sleeping in. I don't care. I need to refresh myself and to really, like I said, de-stress and everything. And it's just been an interesting long week. I think not just for me, I think for everybody, to be very honest with you. Whether it was good things happening, bad things happening, because even the good can sometimes weigh on you sometimes, you know what I mean? It still affects you. You know what I mean? Like going to a concert and having fun, because I did that last Sunday, and I was tired driving home the next day, because, you know what I mean? I had to drive home the next day, and so that's like a long drive. So again, it was something that was good, but I got really tired, and I needed to bring myself back from it, you know what I mean? Okay, and you're going to pull your coffee cup oracle card, and you got Scarab, which is nourishment and transformation. So again, Olivia, calm down. Sorry, my daughter's right here. So this is telling me that you need, like I said, I think you just need to take that time to like really nourish yourself. I feel like you were going through transformation, or you are going through transformation. And even like the message that I talked about, I feel like you have to really trust yourself. There's good things coming for you, and you're going through a change. You have to trust in what you're feeling, the things that you're doing. You might have this feeling to just, even tell a certain person or something, like stay away or whatever it is, or, have boundaries on certain things. And I just feel like, hey, it's not like you're just in a cranky mood, or you're, being whatever that person thinks. Like, I really do think you need that space. And like I said, I think you're going through a transformation. So really excited about that one. Okay, and your next guided card is Clear Your Vibes, Archangel Metatron. It's interesting because I actually did a reading on myself today, and I got him too. So I do think that we need to clear our vibes. We need to definitely come back from whatever we're feeling. And, I do think, like I said, right now is a good time to kind of do that. So if we need to take a day to just kind of, not do anything, or a nap or anything like that, I think we need to do it. We really need to like recharge and clear all this negative energy. And not just like negative energy, but just like any negative things that are around you. And unfortunately, that could be people or things like that. So I do think your energy field needs to be like re-energized. There is something also coming in of like having good vibes and having good things come around you, as in like, of course, with the people you surround yourself with, but even like your own self-thoughts. So even like the things that you're thinking, the things that you're feeling, you have, I think I said this in my reading for October, but you have a lot of power in your words right now. So definitely try to speak good things, say good things, and, don't put negativity on yourself. And the crazy part about this is I realized today too, which I know some people are going to be like, what the heck? But I always have this thing of saying, technology hates me, something always happens, and blah, blah, because the new computer that I have is not doing so great. And so I'm like, really? Like, I went through all these things to get this new computer, and it's not even working correctly like I wanted it, right? And so then I really, and I said this, and as I kind of said and thought it, I was like, I need to stop thinking that, because I tell myself this, and then, in honesty, I manifested. This is what's coming my way, and I need to start thinking differently. And interestingly enough, today, it was actually working fine on certain things. And again, weird little thing. And it might not even be that. I mean, maybe just coincidence, but was totally working fine on the thing that wasn't working for like days, and then all of a sudden it just started working because I was this close to just being like, okay, you guys, I need a whole nother one. I just need a whole nother computer. So yeah, so I really think that you have a lot of strength in your words, in your thoughts, in the things that you're manifesting. You need to realize that you need to clear your vibes and stop being so negative. Stop seeing things negatively, and look for those silver linings. And I know sometimes that can be hard, but you got to look for the silver linings in everything, and you never know what the universe is trying to bring your way. Okay, you guys, so that's it for the messages. I hope you like it. Let me know what you guys think about the formats, if you guys like them or not, or what you guys want to hear or see. But okay, guys, I hope everybody has a great week. And next video, I want to make it a little spooky with Halloween coming around, so I kind of want to make a video talking about, a little bit more as in like ghosts and things that have happened in the past, and even just things that, you might feel that are not normal or maybe try to block out. So let's see how that one goes. But let me know what you guys think about even that topic, or if you guys want to add your own stories. Like, I would really want to know about them. Okay, you guys, have a great week. Bye-bye.